My name is Jamie. It is August 20th, 2020. It's about 4:30 p.m. and this is the vlog for the day. I am between clients right now. It is threatening to storm most of the day, so the wind is kicking up and it's putting my awning and my mats to the test. So I have some extra weights out there on them, weighing them down so that I don't have to go chase them around the neighborhood. Can't wait to get a shed built that I can work out of rather than the tent. But that'll happen probably before Labor Day if I can schedule it out. Anyway, I was talking with my 2 p.m. client, and I'm excited for her. She's my first nutrition client face to face. Got her on a jump start on that, and she's always been really impressive and very driven. And it's very cool to see. And she and her wife are raising 4 kids during a pandemic, which is intense to say the least. I know everyone has a unique scenario in their life in general, and right now it seems to amplify that. Um, so we got to talking a little bit about it, of course. So all anybody talks about right now for the most part, and how the kids are dealing with it. Um, and a piece of my dad's old wisdom came up. Um, I think about my dad every day. There will never be a day that I don't. He passed away, I think I've said it before, I think it was 2013, from cancer. And he raised me and whatnot. And even though we're not blood related, legacy is way more than blood. Our legacy is carried on by every life we touch. So whether it's a family member or a friend or someone we've loved or a stranger we pass in the street and say good morning to, all of those lives are changed because we are interacting with them and we're choosing to be there. We're choosing not to be there, as the case may be. But anyway, my dad um, was a pretty quiet guy. He was from the Midwest, and sometimes he had Midwestern wisdom that almost reminded me of a Prairie Home Companion in like Lake Wobegon days and radio show. But one thing he said was that it's it's almost as if every woman is carrying around a giant bucket, and everything that happens during the day, big and small, go into this bucket, internal bucket. And a little thing here and a little thing there, and it doesn't seem like much, and it fills and fills and fills and fills and fills and fills and fills throughout the day or month or week or year. Pick your time frame, right? And eventually the bucket gets really heavy and really, really full. So what do? More stuff is going to come. There's going to be rain. There's going to be more stuff coming in that bucket. And you got to empty it sometime. And I have never been a big crier. I think the most I cried was when my dad died, obviously, and that was like on and off for weeks. And it still happens every once in a while. But um, this pandemic and dealing with all of this really taught me that things are going to go in the bucket. Now I've gotten better at controlling the information I choose to listen to, and the frustration I choose to engage with. Um, And anyway, I used to listen to NPR all the time, and every news conference I could listen to from the president, and every news conference I could listen to from our governor, just to stay in the loop because things were changing so fast. But I think the reality of it's not going to go back, or at least not going to go back to anything I recognize anytime soon. So it's okay to back off those sources and focus on the present a little more. So anyway, all these things go in this bucket, and the bucket gets really, 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 really full. And you got a choice. You can make time to engage with it, empty the bucket a little bit, cry, yell, scream, lift heavy stuff, run, um, write, vlog, blog, listen to music, whatever you need to do, but empty the bucket some, and then you can have room for more. The other option is something will eventually hit that full bucket that will force it to overflow, and the bucket never gets lighter. It just keeps overflowing every time something gets in. And that is exhausting. And that kind of that drowning feeling sounds a lot like depression, right? Anyway, that was a bit of Midwestern wisdom, and I think we all, including the kids, like need a bucket empty every once in a while. Um, a few, I'll go into one more story. So a few months ago, she was having a really hard time. She was mad that dad was gone. She was mad that school was gone at the time. She was mad that she couldn't see anyone else. She couldn't go to the Y. None of her normal things were normal, were there. And she was throwing a fit about getting into the bath. But of course, it's never really about just getting into the bath, you know? And she was mad. And she very rarely throws tantrums. And so she started throwing things, which was odd for her. But a friend of mine had dropped off since we weren't going into stores. I was not taking an asthmatic kid into a pandemic. We weren't going into stores. So a friend of mine bought some toilet paper first because we were out, and there was a stupid toilet paper run when this thing first came down. And it was like the industrial stuff. So it had pre-wrapped rolls. Each roll was individually wrapped, and it was like a case of 48. So I stocked my two bathrooms. So I had 46 rolls left in there. And I was like, you know what? Sometimes I get mad too. And I grabbed a roll and I hucked it as hard as I could against the wall. And I said something I was mad about. And I encouraged her to do the same thing. Now, yes, I'm encouraging a child to throw things very hard. If it wasn't hard enough, I asked her to throw it harder against a wall. And every time she'd throw one, she'd say something she was mad about. And it's kid stuff. It's like, I'm mad that the dog won't take a bath with me. Yes, because that would be dangerous because the smallest of my dogs is 65 pounds. So, but eventually it came up. She threw one against the wall, and it was, I'm not going to get the exact words, but it was something like, I'm mad that no one wants to be around me anymore. And that clicked because all of a sudden I saw it. Her lens through viewing this wasn't there's some uncontrollable force that is forcing all of this to happen. That's, taking dad away from me. That's making sure I can't see friends. She didn't see that. What she saw was I'm being abandoned and nobody wants to be around me. And all of a sudden, like, and that I think that happened like roll, I don't know, 44. We were almost done with the whole pack by that point. And then she just kind of crumbled and started crying. And I'm like, okay, I get this. This is that abandonment feeling. This is her emptying that bucket right now. And I held her and we talked about it and she got in the bath without complaint after that, you know. And it hasn't turned into a let's throw things at the wall every night thing. In fact, it hasn't happened since. But having those opportunities to just let go of everything is so incredibly valuable. And I'm very, very privileged that that's something that happens all the time in the gym. And I think being an empath is one reason why I like my job, but also one reason why my job is so challenging. Because when those revelation moments hit for somebody, it's amazing. You watch this light bulb go off, you know, and you realize that there's a lot of wisdom to be shared with other people. But at the same moment, it's draining because you're really in the trenches with them too, in whatever they're feeling at the moment. I've had women cry at the gym because of some stuff that's going on at home, and I've sat down with them and protected them from everybody else's eyes and hugged them and cried with them from time to time. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not a big crier. Like I don't think I cry more than 5 times a year, depending. I mean, if it's a good enough movie, fine, it'll make me cry, you know. Um, but most of my entertainment comes from listening to to podcasts and watching vlogs and things like that. And those are usually tear jerkers. All right. I have gone prattled on for 10 minutes now, and I got to get some snackage and water under my belt before I head back outside into the fray. So, this is Jamie. Today was pretty good, and tomorrow will be better.